Email is often the bane of most of our lives, but in particular counsellors do receive rather a lot, which can make their response time rather slow. Well, at least we assume that's why it takes them so long to get back to us. But it's not always the case.
We also need to notch down, we've turned all the security filters up to such a level that, I sent an email to a fellow counsellor, it was 3 weeks before he got it, and what it was all about had become completely irrelevant. Emails from my residents, about, I'd say over 50% of them, have to be extracted from my spam filter.
And I've had a number of occasions where somebody will tell me that they've emailed me, but it's never appeared. So they're left with the impression that their elected representative is uninterested or even further, indifferent to whatever matter it is they wanted to bring before you. And that's a great concern to me, because we all work very hard, actually, for our residents. And it grieves me to think that a resident would have a lesser opinion of any one of us, not because of something we omitted to do, but something that simply failed to appear as it should have done.
Councillor Harris.
Yes, absolutely agreeing with Councillor May there. As far as I'm concerned, I now, and I've been doing this for some years, go into the spam that drops into my daily every day and check. I missed something, and I couldn't live with myself if I did that. So
I do check the junk folder. There is nothing there every day, but I know for a fact that I haven't received some of the correspondence that numerous different people have mentioned and sent. It's very frustrating, and I think that there's something else going on. So
Frustrating? I think that's possibly the understatement of the century. That must drive you all utterly insane. I'm surprised any of you have any hair left. Something that's designed to be near instantaneous can take 3 weeks or never to appear. Only a council could manage to muck up something as straightforward as emailing, so that it's so complex that nobody receives them, thus completely defeating the point of email. Perhaps everyone in Colchester ought to learn Morse code so we can send you our messages, or maybe get some carrier pigeons. So before you completely write off your local councillor for ignoring you, you might want to actually write to them, because Royal Mail will get there quicker than an email, it would appear. But on to some good news. The council have come up with a really good idea for the emails they do actually receive. Have a listen to this.
So it's proposed that the actual inquiries will be logged via an app. So we as an organisation do not know how many member inquiries we are receiving. We don't know where they're going and who's responding to them. This process will centralise that and enable us, hopefully, is provide a better service for members in relation to member inquiries.
So this is really good news. If you can get your email to the councillor in the first place, they can then pass it on to the right officer, and then it will be tracked. Because a lot of the problem we've had with email is people just don't respond, but there's nobody within the council that knows you haven't been responded to. So I would recommend that councillors put their ideas after these meetings into an email so it gets logged in that system. We often hear councillors come up with lots of good ideas, and unless they are bolted on to whatever it is they're voting for, like with planning, they'll say, yes, we'll pass it if you do X, Y, Z, and then you know it's going to be actioned. With things like, if we use the licensing meeting, where Councillor Burrows suggested that they try and lower the rate that they're charging for restaurants to have seating on the pavement. Now, the officer there was very amenable, and he said, yes, I'll try and find some, if there's some wriggle room, I'll try and find it. But then you have no idea if it's been actioned. It comes down to the individual councillors continually chasing up, oh, did you do this, did you do this, which is very wearing. So really positive news. It will certainly help streamline the council and hopefully take a lot of the frustration out of things, if they can get the actual emails to the councillors in the first place. But something else very interesting to us and very dear to our hearts came up during that government's meeting with regards to code of conduct and social media.
I think 90% of the difficulty in arguments over code of conduct complaints is confusion over to what degree somebody's acting in the capacity as a councillor, particularly on social media.
Now, as luck would have it, I have first-hand experience of that one, all the way up to the Ombudsman and back. So I'll give you all the tips and tricks of how to make sure that you can say whatever you like on social media without any bad repercussions. So I'll see you in the next episode.